if you don't know, she was a mum of two. She went out, she dropped her kids off at school, went to walk her dog, and she hasn't been seen since. Her phone and the dog was found by a bench, which was next to the river. But what makes this investigation, this search, so baffling and confusing, if you like, is she works as a mortgage advisor and she'd logged on to a meeting, a Teams meeting. We're all familiar with this. And for some reason, when her phone was found, she was still logged into the meeting. And almost, well, at the start of this investigation, police ruled out a third person being involved. Last week, they said that their hypothesis is that she fell in the river. And we had this next guest on last week saying if she'd fallen into the river, there's a really good chance they would have found her by last week. He said that maybe their technology, there could be issues, but he's going to go in to help, and he did that, and we can speak to him now. It's Peter Faulding. Peter, thank you so much for joining me again. We really, really, really do appreciate it, honestly.
And
I've got to say, actually, you're a forensic search and rescue specialist, and I've got to say, how did your search go?
Well, Claudia, Liza, we searched, good afternoon, we covered the area around the bench. Now, that's where Nicola's phone was found. Now, what we've got to bear in mind here, that was searched once on the day, in the afternoon, extremely thoroughly by police divers. Now, at the bottom of the bank where the phone was found, it's actually only a foot deep onto some rocks. So it's an odd one, and it was covered by police divers. We searched thoroughly down to just before the weir, and then we searched a mile also upstream, just in case anything was missed, thoroughly with high sensitivity side scan sonar, and then we went down to the first bridge, again, looking thoroughly down there, and we can't find anything. The police divers couldn't find anything where she went missing. So this is an odd one.
And then, towards the end of last week, police said that they will now start looking the coast side, looking more into the sea. You know, how likely is it, you know, God willing, her partner, Paul Ansell, he believes she's well, there's every chance that she could come home. But how likely is it that if there were to be a body in the river, it could have gone on into the sea?
Well, from my experience over 20 years dealing with many hundreds of drowning victims, 10, 15, and lots of suicides each year, we normally find them where they go down or within a few metres, unless there's really strong floodwater. Now, I was then there 10 days after the search and started by the police, and the family said the river was not moving fast at all on the day. The police confirmed from the Environment Agency that it was a foot more, so that means there was about 2 foot of water at the bottom of the bank where Nicola supposedly went in, and again it was searched thoroughly by police divers. So to get all the way down over a weir in slow moving water, right the way around about 200 metres, I just can't see it. And again, searching the sea, it's interesting, whenever you see sea searches going on, the RNLI do it, they give up after a couple of days because they know you're not going to find a body at sea. It'll either be washed on a beach, it'll float up somewhere miles down the coastline. So you're not just going to find someone floating around in an estuary.
What do you know, being on the scene, being part of that investigation, what have police said to you in terms of what you can actually divulge, and also the same goes in terms of what the family members have told you? Whatever you are able to say, we absolutely appreciate that some things perhaps should remain private, some things they don't want it to impact the investigation. But what can you tell us in terms of what police and family members have told you?
Well, the police on this particular operation haven't shared any information with me at all. Probably because of all the media around on me. I mean, I work on murder investigations and I hold very sensitive information that never goes out. I never spoke to the media. They come to me on this, so I never went to the media trying to get media attention on this. I was updating them because the police haven't really been updating them a great deal, and I think people want to know what's going on. So this is just really odd, the whole thing. I mean, the family are absolutely in pieces. And they just want answers now. I mean, I'm not criticising the police operation at all. The police divers are brilliant and the searches they've done, but she's just not in that part of the river, Claudia, Liza.
So I'm going to try and tread carefully here. Again, you know, we're not going for Lancashire Police. We obviously don't have the full details of the investigation. Who knows? There could be something else going on. Who knows? As you say, they're not necessarily communicating to the public, to the media, for whatever reason. Out of interest, based on what you do know, what do you think police could be doing, should be doing?
Well, they will be doing they will be looking at everybody, people around the village, people, you know, the family have been sort of ruled out, and they'll be looking at everything. There'll be number plate data, there'll be cell silencers from mobile phones in the area, but this takes time from analysts in the background, lots and lots of work. They're not, because you don't see not a lot going on near the river. There's lots of detailed investigative work going on in the background, and that takes many, many hours and lots of people. So it's very difficult to comment. I wouldn't want to comment because I don't know what's going on really.
No, indeed, and I just actually I do want to respect this investigation, and I don't want to make any suggestions or implications about it. You know, I'm limited in terms of what I know as well as a journalist. In terms of the area, though, Peter, what is it like? The area where she was, or where the bench, the phone was found on the bench, and where the dog was. You know, how likely is it? How easy is it for somebody to fall? Is it very steep? If you fall, you know, would you fall into the river? Or is there a chance you could get up? But what is the area like exactly?
Well, if Nicola slipped down the bank, she would end up with a water just up probably to the top of her legs.
Oh.
If she went out into the middle, it's about 3.5, 4 metres deep. But to get down, the bench is quite a way back. So to actually get into the river, you would have to be pushed very hard, or knocked out and shoved in the river, or very unlikely that, I mean, the dog was dry here, so she hasn't, I don't believe that she's just slipped down the bank. She was a very cautious lady. Talking to the family, she was a creature of habit, absolute creature of habit. And from her Strava data, the family said, Heather and the family said, she does not ever go near that river. She's really cautious. She takes the same route every morning. Every morning, total creature of habit here. And this is what doesn't stack up. None of this stacks up at all.
I'll tell you what, Peter, the more I speak to you, the more details you give of the location. As you say, if Nicola indeed, she is a creature of habit, and she logs on to a work call and decides to walk to the edge where the river is when she's in the... Baffled. I really, really hope and pray that the police find something, anything at all. And I hope there was a big programme on Channel 5 yesterday. They gave out some numbers. It was 111, and actually the other number is 999. If you do see an immediate sighting, call 999. If there's any way you can help in the investigation, it's 111. But Peter Faulding, thank you so much for your time, and it's so wonderful to hear that you went to help with that investigation. God bless you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Claudia.
And I also got to add that he did that free of charge as well. It was just, much like many of us, just absolutely wanting to make sure that we can connect this family to this woman who has gone missing.